Let's talk about a huge paradox in the world of finance, something that's always kind of bugged me. Why is it that the super smart theories you learn in economics class seem to just fall apart when they hit the real world of the financial markets?
It's a real head scratcher, right? I mean, you'd assume that the people who understand the economy inside and out would be the best at investing in it. But so often, that's just not how it plays out. Why do the folks who literally write the textbooks keep failing the test when real money is on the line?
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Look at John Maynard Keynes. I mean, we're talking about one of the most brilliant economic minds in history. He tried to time the market. He really did. And you know what he decided in the end? He quit. He gave up. Even he realized that trying to apply pure economic theory to the day-to-day chaos of the market was a losing game.
And this all leads to a really powerful idea called the detached observer critique. It sounds fancy, but it's pretty simple. Think about it. A lot of economists study the market from way up high, like a scientist watching animals from a tower. They're analyzing everything, but they don't have any skin in the game. And that distance, that detachment, it can create theories that look absolutely perfect on a whiteboard, but just don't work in the real world.
So, if that traditional map that economists use is flawed, where exactly does it lead us astray? Well, a big part of the problem starts with the classic economic cycle theory. You've probably heard of it, this idea that you can predict which sectors will do well in a recession versus an expansion. But for an investor trying to make moves now, that map is just, well, it's not very reliable. So, flaw number one, and this is a big one. Economic data, all those reports on GDP, inflation, jobs, they're all lagging indicators. By their very nature, they tell you what has already happened. It's like trying to drive a race car by only looking in your rearview mirror. I mean, it's madness, right? By the time the data confirms a trend, the market is already miles down the road. And then there's the second big flaw. This whole approach often pushes you to bet big on one specific industry. The model might say, okay, we're in an expansion, so go all in on tech. But what happens then? You're basically tying your entire fate to that one sector. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. And if something totally unexpected hits that one industry, your whole strategy just completely falls apart. Okay, so if picking sectors based on old data is a bad idea, what's the alternative? This is where things get really interesting. The answer is to completely change how we look at the market. We need to stop picking sectors and start identifying the underlying factors that are actually powering the economy. This whole new way of thinking was born from asking one really important question. When you see the market going up, how can you tell if that growth is real? Is it just a bunch of hype and speculation, or is it actually backed up by real businesses making and selling real things? Getting the answer to that is everything. So to answer that big question, this model zeroes in on two key signals to get a read on the whole economy. First, you've got the S&P 500. Think of this as the voice of financial markets, representing speculative sentiment. And on the other side, you have copper. Now, traders have a nickname for it. They call it Dr. Copper because its price is an amazing indicator of real industrial demand. If people are building cars, houses, and electronics, you better believe they need a ton of copper to do it. And here is the secret sauce. This is the signal. When you see the S&P 500 just taking off, shooting way ahead of copper prices, that's a huge red flag. It suggests the stock market is floating on a bubble of pure speculation, totally disconnected from the real economy. And that gap, that divergence, is a leading indicator. It's a clue about what might be coming around the corner, not a report on the road you've already left behind. And this whole approach has a name. It's called factor investing. So instead of betting on a broad category like technology, you're investing based on the underlying drivers, the factors that are pushing the market. In this case, that key factor is the push and pull between speculative hype and real-world industrial activity. You're trying to align your money with the true engine of the economy. So what does this all add up to? Well, the point isn't to create yet another complicated theory that only a PhD could love. The goal here is to build a new kind of compass, a practical, useful tool that can actually help you navigate the markets. I mean, just look at the difference here. Traditional macroeconomics is all about these big abstract theories. The goal is just to understand things on an intellectual level. This factor model, it's the complete opposite. It's focused on things you can actually measure and act on with one simple goal, giving you practical guidance. So let's just boil it all down. We're talking about a massive shift in thinking. The old way meant relying on data that was out of date, making risky bets on entire sectors, and getting lost in complex theories. The new way is all about finding leading insights, using a smarter factor-based approach, and getting clear, actionable signals you can actually use.
See, this isn't about perfectly predicting the future. It's about having a better way to understand the forces at play right now so you can anticipate what might come next. So, the real question this leaves us with is instead of always looking backward, are you ready to get a clearer view of what's driving the market next?